Hello everyone, this is Yoshi542 and we have a new replay. Well, this replay is not that new to be honest. I kind of had it for a week, but I decided to do a commentary on this replay on one of the tanks you probably have not seen me put up on my YouTube channel. This tank is the VK3601H. It's a tier 6 German heavy, used to be a medium, but we'll talk more about that a little bit later into the replay. On which map is this? Live Oaks. So we'll get started. And obviously this is a tier 6 matchup. Move out. Now my team is spawned on the northeast corner of the map, which most of the tanks will probably go to the city or go to the railing. Those are the two most obvious spots, and I mean that happens in this map. You either go to the city on northwest or you go down the rails on southeast. Me, I do tend to go for the city here, but I think I hang back for a little bit. I mean, I will try to brawl down the city because I am a heavy, and usually heavies go to the city. Now, regarding this tank itself, this used to be a medium, like I said earlier in the intro, but Wargaming decided to change it and turn it into a heavy. Other changes were they increased the health of the tank from 850 of a max to 950, and I believe they lowered the DPM of the Konish, or now called the WAF gun, which does used to do I believe 150 damage per shot with a high DPM and high penetration, but now it's 135. I'm not certain because I haven't played this tank in a long time. But here you can see me shoot at the KB-1S. And I got shot by an Easy 8 there, but it bounced because I'm angled fairly well. There you can see 145 damage shot, and you can see my reload is just under 4 seconds, making it extremely good. Extremely good DPM as long as you can nail the shot. That penetration is really good too. Base penetration is around 157, I think, and APCR pen is over 220, which is very high penetration for a tier 6 heavy. Now, most of our team is spread all over the map actually, but not too many on the southeastern side where the railings are, but that's alright. For now, we're going to clean up the city because most of the heavies are here. And I haven't really done much. I only got one shot to land and damage a tank. But this tank gives you plenty of opportunities to DPM if given the chance. It is a heavy, and it used to be called a pocket tiger because, well, it's a pretty small tank for a heavy, but it has 100 millimeters of frontal armor, which is pretty nice for tier 6. You angle it and you can do okay with it. You can bounce some shots. There's my next shot. And I'm going to be a bit apprehensive after I chase down this Easy 8 because I don't want to get hit by that Jagdpanzer 4.
Enemy armor is hit. Enemy armor is damaged.
You can see the Easy 8 taking damage. He lost his tracks. He instantly repaired it, but he's going to die. And he kept bouncing on me. I did get damaged though by, I believe, no, M37 RD. Here you see me just basically, make my pace around, and as I said earlier, I am being apprehensive here. I didn't want to get into the kill zone of that Jagdpanzer 4, but apparently he backed up from the hill, and he's heading closer to the spawn, probably to intercept that AMX that's trying to scout around our cap. I'm going to turn back because I realize, oh, there's a lot of people going to our cap. Our entire eastern defense is basically gone, and there's a fair amount of us around the city. I'm gonna go back. I believe this Hellcat is gonna help me out. I tried to take some blind shots because I got a lot of ammo and I have a lot of DPM with this gun, so even if I don't hit him, maybe I get lucky, I thought to myself, but that didn't turn out to work. So here we go. Now we got better vantage point,
Penetration.
and as you can see, the damage is very low, but due to its fast reload and penetration, you can penetrate most tanks, even some tier 8 in the front with this thing. Some, not all. And that's with standard AP. Obviously, you're not going to penetrate an IS-3 through the front with this thing, but maybe with APCR you might have a chance. There's the cap, and this is where things get interesting. So far the game's been pretty standard and I've done over 1150 damage. That's pretty good. Even if I died right now, I would be okay with this. Personally, I wish I could done more, like 1500. And this is kind of a little bit of a mistake by me. I was way on open, but I back up. And there's 3 tanks. I have to stop the cap no matter what happens. So I get hit by the E2, M4, A3 E2. And I'm just blasting the M4 because he's the easiest target. And I don't need to risk using any premium ammo on him. So I stopped the cap for the time being, and I have enough DPM to keep firing. So there's a bounce. There's another bounce. So I switched to APCR.
Penetration.
And I keep stopping the cap.
Penetration. Enemy is hit.
That M4 is almost dead. And I'm still using APCR for some reason here.
Enemy is hit.
But that was useful. That damaged his turret.
Enemy armor is hit.
And he's almost dead. So 2 M4 is almost dead. Type 58, that one I didn't aim well. I got hit by an M4 again. And now that Type 58.
Signal nearby vehicles. We didn't even scratch them.
That one penetrated him.
Penetration.
And they're not having a fun time. They're getting wailed on by a Hellcat and me. But I'm using APCR, which is a bad idea. And although I am hurt,
Penetration.
they're taking a bigger beating than I am. And I'm stopping their cap and any chance of them winning.
Damaged.
The AMX seems to finish off an M4 and the 1S finishes off the Type. There's a KB1 in the back and that M4 A3 E2. I'm gonna start shooting through the wall here because I can destroy the barn. One more shot would destroy the wall, but I think he dies. There he is. Do I kill him? Oh, I thought I killed him. I already got him literally a millisecond before I did. So here's a KB1. I don't know if that's the same KB1 I shot at originally. But you can see my damage now is now about 2700. So I did a whole lot of damage and I stopped the cap.
Penetration.
KB1 will die. I don't remember if it was me. Doesn't matter. He's gonna die no matter what. And he has a nice hiding spot here. That one bounced for some reason. And I guess I kill him.
Vehicle destroyed.
I'm not sure what that AMX meant. Did he carry? Maybe? I don't know. I was doing that did a lot of damage. Now I'm gonna take a long shot here. I wanna see if I can hit him. Oh, he died before I had it. My shell had a chance to kill him. Or even hit him. And it's 14-11. I mean, we're still well ahead. We got 4 tanks versus their 1, and their 1 tank is an M4. So we should be able to mop it up pretty easily. We got 2 RD and 1S and me. And we'll see what happened here. Okay, so I only had 2 kills, but I did a lot of damage. Surprisingly, I guess the AMX did have a point. I guess he got a lot of kill shots. He has the most kills in this game in our team. Not most kills out of anyone in this game. With 4. Pretty good for a tier 5 scout in a tier 6 game. Now, we're all just gonna start rushing the cap. I'm gonna be a bit apprehensive though, because maybe that M4 has a derp gun, and if I get hit with the derp gun on the side, which is 105mm with HE, then I'm probably gonna die. Although the likelihood of that happening is not likely. I mean, it's really very rare to see an M4 with a derp gun these days. But I'm gonna go around the bottom here, and I noticed the KV-1S also nearby me. He actually goes pretty quick, considering he's a bigger tank. Another thing about the VK3601H, he gives me a decently mobile tank before the nerf, but they just nerfed it so badly that, I mean, people use it. Sometimes they use the 88 on this thing as well, especially in low tier games like this, but the mobility just turned to crap. It slowed accelerate, and when you have a KV-1S, which is a bigger tank, just roar past you, it shows you how far you've fallen, really. Although I do hear the KV-1S, even though it too got nerfed in its own way, it still has decent mobility. I'm gonna go for the cap here because I realize, you know what, just bait him out, he can't do anything. And I might be able to one-shot him, or not. So the 1S is waiting for him around the corner, and this M4 is not very smart. And let's see if I get a shot. He died as soon as my rad hit the, I guess the sprocket of his front left tread, or transmission. And there you go. The game ends, and I did at least 2867 damage, probably a little bit more. But you saw me basically stop a cap, and I'm sure I got defender for that one. And we'll go to the post game stats, and I'll show you what it's like. So here's the post game stats on that same app, and you can see I got quite a lot of stuff out of this one. Obviously, I got the Mastery, Ace Tanker. I got Fire for Effect. Usually you get that fairly often if you do high damaging games. I got Hand of God, survive and win the battle, having received damage from at least 4 different enemy vehicles, which is true, obviously. I got Bruiser. I got Steel Wall, which is very nice. Got Defender. Makes sense since I stopped that cap so many times. And I got High Capper, which, yeah. So here's my victims list. All these tanks I damaged at least once. The M4A3E2. And I did 571 damage to him, 563 damage to Type 58, 297 damage to a KV-1, 414 damage to an M4 Sherman, 750 damage to M4A3 Easy 8 Sherman, 556 damage to a different KV-1, and last but not least, 145 damage to a KV-1S. The XP gained was 4k. I had premium during this time, which is a lot of experience when you think about it. Especially this was only a double bonus, first win, 2-time multiplier, so that was pretty nice. And here you could see team scoring when sorted by damage, and I actually did more damage than the damage log indicated because I probably fired some blind shots that counted. So I did near just about or just under 3,300 damage with the WAF gun on this tank specifically. Basic speed was extremely high, 1358. That's not easy to make with this tank, even with a WAF. And you can see how the enemy team didn't damage. Their highest damagers did less than half of what I was capable of. But our team pretty much dropped off after a bit. You can see here that Hellcat, he didn't do much. I think he might have even used HE, doing 24 damage. Oh, it was a kill shot for him, the one that was helping me out, but I guess he died. And look at this, we had a lot. Well, it's mid-tier, so you're gonna have some players that just don't put their weight in. Some might scout, some might do something else. And Artie that did 0 damage was very disappointing, and he lived through this entire thing. So moving on to detailed report, here you can see, uh-oh, I spent too much on APCR. Luckily I made profit, well actually no I did not make profit, I'm sorry. I did make profit with premium, but if I didn't have premium, I would have lost 7,611 credits. But I spent way too much on APCR even though I didn't need to. You lose track of that, how many APCR rounds you spend on this thing because it reloads really quick. It's not an autoloader, but it's still really fast for a tier 6 heavy. The damage blocked by armor was only 390, but it was enough to get me to steel wall. Oh, probably also it counts as steel wall, but even though damage blocked by armor no longer counts on stuff like your tracks. If you take a shot to the tracks and you take no actual numerical damage by it, well, guess what? It doesn't count as damage blocked by armor. But it still counts as the steel wall calculation, I believe. So shots fired 48, 32 hit, and 26 penetrated, so not bad. a little bit more than half of my shots fired actually penetrated. Not exactly the most accurate game I had, but it was a pretty good game, and I had some really easy targets. So, I mean, in the end, I did what I had to do in this game. I basically rushed the city. Well, I would say rushed, but definitely put support in the city. I played second line, although I didn't need to play second line. I could have played front line, but I prefer second line with this tank because it doesn't have a big boom type of the peekaboo type gun that would really scare off enemies, even a tier 7 and tier 8. It has a low damaging but high DPM, high penetration, kind of a sniper gun with a waff. And then I went back straight to our cap to stop their cap. Went back to our spawn to stop the enemy capping our flag. And if I did not do that, we would have lost the game. Guaranteed, because I obviously got the Defender medal, which reduced the amount of enemy capture points on a friendly base by 70 or more. That's a big, big thing. Because if no one came over to stop that, I'm pretty sure the Hellcat would have made a difference, but I don't know about that AMX ELC, the Scout. I don't think they would have been able to stop it because, that tier 5 Scout has a long reload despite the damage of his gun. And the Hellcat, he only got one kill before he died. So I was the one basically doing all the work. So that ends that. I mean, there's nothing else really much more to say. To be honest, I actually sold this tank, and although back then before the nerf, it was an extremely good tier 6 medium. Now it's a pretty average tier 6 heavy. If you get this tank, try to use its strengths. Make sure you've angled frontal slide, or frontal slide, the frontal armor a little bit to the side because it's 100 millimeters. So think of it kind of like a Tiger. It's a lot smaller in profile, which makes it, easier to hide, but it's still a heavy. Its acceleration speed is not good, but it's usable for a heavy. Although the 1S will beat you in speed basically each time. Don't expect to brawl too much, even with the 88mm gun, which has much less penetration. But if you're using the WAF, the high DPS gun, or DPM gun, then you're good. Just stay second line support, or even snipe from back, and you should be okay. Oh, especially in high tier games, you're gonna have to snipe with that gun. Having said all that, I'm done casting this. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please like, comment, and subscribe. This is Yoshi542. Thank you for watching.